Fellow South Africans, Africans in particular, Operation Dudula's actions has been declared unlawful by the courts of this country. So the Johannesburg High Court has just declared the actions by Operation Dudula as unlawful, and that the law enforcement needs to act whenever this anarchist group, this group of radicals, nincompoop, who goes around harassing Africans who are in the country, stopping them from accessing the health care, stopping them from accessing schools and whatnot, and that is against humanity. All right. So the court of this country has pronounced itself to say that is criminality. So you, as an African brother, African sister, if you get stopped or ask questions by this group of charlatans, you don't have to answer for. And we've been saying this all along to say you don't have to. Really, an Operation Dudula minion asking you about your papers, that where's your papers? Where's your papers? These are not law enforcement. This is a group of unemployed rascals in the township who survived through extortions. So don't give them time, right? So it's about time this Operation Dudula minions are really taken to task. So we appreciate and welcome the court ruling to say really we need to restore the dignity of black people, irrespective of where they come from. So we welcome the ruling indeed, and our African brothers and sisters, you don't have to answer to these criminals, so to speak. In relation to those who are trading in Johannesburg, CBD and everywhere else, I know that there is a cleaning whatever going on in preparation for G20. The courts has also declared that they've given Johannesburg, counsel to really speed up the process within which those who qualifies must be given the permit to operate, and those who are undocumented, for obvious reasons, you'll not get a chance to really operate on the streets. So the courts have ruled in favor of street workers who are actually selling in small street and everywhere else in Johannesburg. So Johannesburg Council must actually ensure that in line with their bylaws, get to make sure that those who qualifies must go back to the streets and occupy those streets of Johannesburg, so to speak.
Oh well, I guess you win some and you lose some. And this time, Operation Dudula is on the losing end because the High Court has stopped them from harassing people. So the High Court has an interdict on Operation Dudula and is stopping them from harassing foreign nationals and demanding documents. Basically, they cannot Dudula people anymore. So, the High Court in Johannesburg has granted a far-reaching interdict against Operation Dudula, prohibiting the movement and its members from harassing, intimidating or obstructing foreign nationals and from interfering with their access to essential public services. The order delivered on Monday under case number 2023-044685 stems from an application brought by the Kopanang African Against Xenophobia and the South African Informal Traders Forum, the Inner City Federation and the Abahlali Basemjondolo Movement, South Africa. Respondents included Operation Dudula, several government departments and national ministers responsible for home affairs, justice, health and education. The South African Human Rights Commission was also listed as a respondent. So, Operation Dudula. Dudula, you man. Yeah, these guys are not coming back from this. I guess there are plans to stop, the illegal students, the illegal parents of students, or the students themselves that were going into schools illegal. Okay, I don't know what they were planning to do, but whatever they were planning to do, the beginning of January 2026 is gonna stop. They're not going to harass people anymore. Yeah, and I know you're sitting there at home thinking, hey man, I saw Operation Dudula today. They were doodling people. Yeah, so people break the law all the time. I think even before Operation Dudula did this, it was against the law. So now they have to have an actual interdict. So I think the people who are going to enforce the interdict are the guys from Abatali Bosom Jondol and Kopanang, African Against Xenophobia, these guys. Because, yeah, ordinary people, I think Operation Dudula right now, they're still chasing people out of clinics. So these guys, I think they are going to have some face-off with Operation Dudula if they actually continue doodling people. So, yeah, we're going to have to see what happens from now on.
Sanibona bafowethu ninjani mina ngisaseright ngisasemnandi bafowethu kade simtshela ukuthi lento yenziwa uDudula ayikho emthethweni obheka indaba namhlanje bathi Dudula akumelanga bahambe barasa abantu akumelanga bavalela abantu ema-clinics akumelanga bavalela abantwana ezikoleni akumelanga nje babuze even e-passport or i-ID emuntwini lo umsebenzi wamaphoyisa umsebenzi wama-fence so siyakhala siyabheka endabeni la lento iDudula yenzayo ayikho emthethweni yabona. You can fight for the country but don't harass people. Ungahambi harass abantu because they are not South Africans. They don't have rights because they are not South Africans. Kungabantu na ungumuntu. So don't celebrate too much ukuthi kunabantu abahlukumeza abantu bangaphandle. Kanti aniyazi ukuthi le Dudula ifanda ubani, le mali ephuma kuphi. Nina niyalwa mahala but kunabantu abareceive imali. Aniyazi next.
Operation Dudula was issued with an interdict. Operation Dudula, I told you that that movement of hate will be stopped one of these days. The interdict was issued by the court to stop them. You know what? One of the things that they stopped them to do, they are not allowed to ask any other person for documentation. Only the police and immigration officers are allowed to do so. And the interdict clearly stated that no one is allowed to ask anything from no one. They always claim that no, we are lawful. No, now they have to comply with the interdict. It's a court interdict. They had like a plan to do operation in schools in January, December type of stuff. They are not allowed. If they ever do, they will get Siboshiwe, Papa, Siboshiwe. They will cry again. You remember that lady who was crying? They will cry again. So anybody who think Operation Dudula is a political movement, is a political party, let's see what are they going to campaign with. Because their mandate was Abahambe. Now the Abahambe thing is stopped by the interdict. Now let's see what are they going to campaign with. Let's see. I know in their life nowadays they had the great R syllabus. They'll be like, oh, what's next to the ocean? What's the ocean? I hope they continue with that great R syllabus in their life in TikTok, because they have no absolute mandate other than hating on other African foreigners. They don't have any mandate. So let's see this political party, this people who promote hate speech, they are also stopped from promoting hate speech. So you know what? As South African, I am glad that they are stopped, and they need to be stopped. You can't use other people as a political way of getting to the parliament. I mean, people are not that stupid. I mean, look at the votes. They didn't even vote for you guys. 3%. Now, since you are not allowed to use Mabahambe, you're gonna get 0. I'm out.
Today, the Gauteng High Court of South Africa made a landmark decision. It has barred Dudula, and by extension, any other political party, be it Patriotic Alliance, Put South Africa First, MK, or any of these other groups that might want to go out and bar foreigners from getting services, discriminating them, or harassing them in their course of business, their lives, or in their normal conduct. They have been barred from targeting foreigners. They've been barred from targeting foreigners for discrimination, for abuse, for harassment, and for trying to stop them from getting access to healthcare, schools, or any other basic human right. According to the judge, the targeting of foreigners, their harassment, their terrorization is a human rights violation that deprives them of their right to dignity, privacy, and freedom. And as such, anybody that is undertaking this activity commits a crime against humanity and contravenes the South African Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the universal human rights that South Africa has acceded to by signing human rights agreements and covenants. The ruling goes further to barring South African police from arbitrarily stopping people and asking them for their IDs, because that is a contravention of their right to freedom and their right to dignity. So now the South African police can no longer do what they had been doing, which is going out into the streets, looking at how people are dressed, looking at people's skin color, and then asking them for their documents without reasonable cause or without any form of criminal activity that they're suspecting to have been done by this person. This was a form of discrimination, it was a form of segregation, and this has been disallowed by the courts. So despite the allegations that the ANC and South African leadership have been involved in this discrimination and abuse of foreigners, this now becomes case law. And so South African government officials are enjoined to uphold the Constitution and the laws of South Africa by arresting anybody that continues to discriminate or to terrorize and target foreigners in South Africa. Every nation that has been destabilized by war previously started by abusing minorities. Let's keep rule of law.
The outcome is obviously that it has been struck off the roll, and we're excited about it because we have been complaining that they gave us too little time to respond to their affidavit, and you know the court is in our favor and obviously at cost. So we will be meeting with our legal team to finalize everything. But
A few moments later.
Home invasion, a robbery, a cruel ending of life. Just another day in South Africa, right? Well, no, not quite. So let me tell you about how the violent backdrop of South Africa has allegedly been used to try and cover up a disturbing crime. In the early hours of Thursday, the 30th of October, what was believed to be a house robbery was occurring in Mangle Street, Newton Park, Port Elizabeth. Within the home, 65-year-old Donnie Diaga would meet a brutal and tragic end, whilst his 57-year-old partner, Estelle Lagrange, was allegedly gagged, tied up with cable ties, and a pillowcase was placed over her head. As the four unidentified attackers continued their spree before stealing Donnie's Nissan Juke. After they had left, she had allegedly been able to break free and had then come across Donnie's unresponsive body. Sounds like anyone's worst nightmare, right? Well, as it turns out, there's a little more to the story. And just hours after the attack, that very same woman, along with the two tenants, Leroy Scholz and Anka Cilliers, both 36 years old, who stayed on the property, were arrested. You see, upon further investigation, some things just didn't sit right with the detectives on scene. There were signs of damage to the garage door, as well as a small window that was smashed smashed and identified as a possible point of entry. However, what was odd was that the broken glass was found on the outside of the house, indicating that the window had been smashed from the inside. Donnie's stolen vehicle was also tracked using security cameras, and what is believed to have been the murder weapon was found tossed over a property wall along the route. Furthermore, the two tenants stated that whilst they were not home at the time of the incident, they couldn't explain their whereabouts, later caving in after police questioned. The trio appeared yesterday in court on the 3rd of November and will appear once again on the 5th of November, where a date will be set for their bail application. Allegedly though, during the session yesterday, Leroy was about to speak further into what had happened, but the magistrate had cut his admission short, citing that it wasn't the time for that conversation, especially as he had not spoken to a lawyer first. The duo have applied to legal aid, whilst Estelle appointed a well-known criminal defense lawyer, Alvin Grebenau. Donnie was a beloved father of a daughter and a grandfather of 2 grandsons. He was described as respectful, warm, kind, and a big fan of motorbikes and cars. Those were his passions. He was also a qualified air conditioning technician as well as a businessman, known for his generosity and his big heart. Within the businesses that he owned, his partner Estelle had worked for him. His family, grieving and heartbroken, are praying that justice will be received for Donnie. You know the drill though. Keep your eyes on my feed and I'll be sure to keep you in the loop. Until the next one, Bala out.
Major breaking news. Finally, the Lion of Africa, Captain Ibrahim Traore, met Jacob Zuma, the former president of South Africa. And let me tell you, Zuma found it a great achievement meeting this particular fearless young leader. You'd believe this. He was warmly welcomed by Captain, and after Zuma taking pictures with Captain Ibrahim Traore, and I quote, he said this: "They took pictures so that in South Africa, we will be able to say, yes, we came from here." You'd believe this. But a lot of people online are very much furious and they're not happy after Captain meeting with Zuma, because they believe Zuma never did anything in South Africa for a decade, and they say that he had looted a lot. But I think the Captain of Africa, the Lion of Africa, met Jacob Zuma for a reason, whereby he was actually a former liberation fighter and a leader of the post-apartheid in South Africa. That might be the biggest reason as to why Captain Ibrahim Traore decided to meet Jacob Zuma. A lot of people are saying, no, Ibrahim Traore should actually be careful because this is how everything went down with Gaddafi. Anyway, what's your point of view?